Well done. Push to the line.
Keep it going, Harry. Hi guys, sorry it's a bit delayed, but this is my video for, what was it, BUCS Triathlon and my bike fit with Matt Bot Trail. So BUCS Triathlon was now quite a while ago, but it's still very in my head. So I'll show you a bit of, well, it'll probably be a few of the photos. I'm not sure we got any videos, but I'll show you a few of the photos from it, and then I will give you a little rundown of what occurred and why it was certainly an interesting race. So BUCS Triathlon was my first sprint try for Leeds Beckett, and only my second sprint try ever. So I finished in a time of 1:16:25. Definitely don't have it all coming up on here now. I finished, Jesus Christ, 175th overall and 126th male across the line. So starting with the swim, as many of you know, I've been training for duathlon recently, as I've got the sprint duathlon from the time of this video in about 3 weeks time, 3 weeks. So my swim hasn't been a focus. God, the way they've done this is so weird. So my swim time was 8:26, which wasn't quite what I was hoping for, as normally I can easily do sub 2 minute hundreds. So that wasn't great. And then in T1 I went to the wrong side of the rack to where my helmet and stuff was, so I had to go back around, or I ducked under, something like that. So that obviously slowed me down. So I did my T1 in 47 seconds rather than like 30 odd, which I can normally easily do. My bike time was 43. So as many of you likely did this race anyway, you'll know that it was rather hilly, but that wasn't really the main factor that caused such a slow time. The main factor was that in the descent into Tavistock, I was stuck behind a car and a TO, or technical official's, motorbike, so I couldn't really overtake as there wasn't space to, and it would have been dangerous if I had. Shout out to Lewis, who is in my next video, who the next video is like focusing on, who almost got hit by a car, which was a lot of fun for him, as it just came out of nowhere. Luckily I made a lot of really nice overtakes on like corners and stuff. So yeah, I did that. So I did I think it was like 18k in the end in 40:43, an average speed of 26 kilometers an hour apparently. And then my T2, I did exactly the same thing and went to the wrong side, because I'm so used to racking it that I'll come, like, push the bike out towards it, that I just don't know why I didn't do that, because I normally do, but oh well, live and learn. So that was again 47 seconds, so pretty consistent. I'm so glad I bought this mic because this National Express is loud, because as you'll know from the next video, I'm on my way back up to Leeds. So I'll have 2 videos to upload when I come back down on Monday. Nice. So yeah, T2 is 47 seconds. Other than going to the wrong side, it was pretty smooth. I did something different. So normally I'd have, because of Triathlon, I'd have my watch on already to record the first run and the last run. Because it was Triathlon, I tried so not wearing my watch for the swim, because my watch doesn't like pool swims anyway, and then just chucking it on for the run and just putting it on my hand, as you'll probably see in some of the photos, or have seen in the photos. Now, on to the most interesting part, which was the run. Me personally, I was not a fan of it. So the first 100 metres, or within the first like 50 metres, there was really steep steps. I mean, the first, I'd say, 500 metres was all uphill. So you couldn't really get up to any sort of pace if you weren't an elite triathlete. So I really struggled to get into any sort of rhythm, and then about halfway, so it was all undulating but really steeply, so it's not like you could even cruise down the hill. It was like an oh shoot, I need to heel strike massively, because otherwise I'm going to stack it kind of descent. So I really struggled to get to any sort of rhythm, and ended up running one of the slowest 5Ks I've done for a while, in a time of 24:04, which yeah, wasn't my best result. And then also in the last 200 metres, it was downhill, so you'd think, alright, I'll use this to my advantage and speed up. Then probably the last 100 to 100 or 50 metres, there was steps down, so you had to slam on the brakes and then go down those stairs to make sure that you didn't absolutely stack it. So do with that what you will. So yeah, that didn't really help my race. But yeah, I ran with a pace of, according to this, about 4:49 per k, which for me isn't good enough really. Normally, like, I could probably do 4-minute Ks, maybe a bit slower, 4:10s off a bike for 5k. Yeah, in total it was 1:16:25. Not my favourite triathlon course that I've done. Well done to, who was it that won it again? I think it was Ollie Conway. Yeah, well done to Ollie Conway winning it in a crazy time of 51:48. And then Brandon Pye came second in 51:53. And then Skips Nelson from Loughborough. Where's Brandon? Is he Loughborough? Oh yeah, Brandon's Loughborough as well. And Skips Nelson, also from Loughborough, came third in a time of 53. Whoa, what's going on there? 53:14. So yeah, well done to them. Now, onto my bike fit with Matt Bottrill. Now, as many of you know, oh, that's got a bit foggy. I've recently had a few issues with cramping on the bike. God, is that rain? Bloody hell. Yay! Yeah, a few issues with cramping while on the bike. It hasn't been due to nutrition, because during the bike I am relatively good for the distance that I'm doing. So the second I started having these issues, my first thought was, I need a bike fit. So I booked in with Matt for a fit probably a few weeks ago now. It was the week after, it was a couple of days after BUCS actually. So yeah, me and Lewis wandered down there. Lewis being my designated driver. So we went down there for a few hours. So during the bike fit, started off with just seeing how I ride in the current position that I was in. Then I discussed what I thought I could change. So we ended up changing saddle because I had a lot of pressure on my perineum, because I used the geo mapping or whatever it was, saddle cover. So, and I had a lot of pressure on my perineum from the quite aggressive position that I like to hold with the arrowheads. So I got a new saddle on there which had a space in the middle, and was also a slightly shorter nose than what I had previously been riding. And then I also got new bars on there because I was running 44cm handlebars, which was crazy wide, especially because I've got quite narrow shoulders. So I was like, I knew I could like bring them in more. So I did that. Then what else was it? Cleat position was adjusted. Saddle height was slightly changed. I think it was slightly high actually, slightly raised. Yeah, so I had spaces in my cleats, which just meant that my legs were a bit more even, as I was struggling to put power out with my left leg, I want to say, as it's slightly longer, or one of them slightly longer. God, it's actually really rainy. Sorry, getting distracted. Yeah, so one of them is slightly longer than the other, so I had that done just to make sure that I could evenly put power out with both of my legs. And then I had narrow bars put on as well, where I already said that maybe. So I'm now running 38s on there with slightly inward handlebars, but keeping within the UCI and World Tri regulations, of course. And then I also was persuaded to get a new helmet, as my now training helmet was a very aero. So I've now got a Kask Nirvana. I've always wanted a Kask helmet since I started cycling, as I am a fan of Ineos. So I was like, yeah, go for it, why not? So yeah, that was the bike fit. It's now feeling a lot more comfortable, and I'm finding it a lot easier to put decent power out and to get into a nice aero position. I'll get some footage out the roads, and then yeah, that's a rough overview of what's been occurring.
Yeah, they are very wide. Yeah. Then we can put some tape. Ultimately, kind of high saddle then. And
Body rocket guys as well.
oh, okay.
So I do.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, but so many people. All this. You can rest on there now.
Yeah.
Can't you?
I did feel like I was like sort of going into.
Yeah.
Now it's just so much more just like.
Do once more, mate. Let's just try.
I love the idea of the system.
Think it'll ever work? Going to. Would you find that you shift forwards as well?
It's like sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've also since then had a 3k race, which I ran 11:21, I want to say. I'll put the time in there. and then so that was my first ever 3k, so no expectations going into it. I just thought, you know what, sod it, I'll do it, as it's like close to 2.5k. Oh, voice crack. Out it's still early in the morning and I'm still waking up. And then I've also done a 5k track race at my home track in Canterbury. Bit of a dodgy track, if I do say so myself. Which I didn't have the best prep leading into it, as I had my cousin's wedding the night before, so had a little bit of alcohol, and also didn't have the best night's sleep and was on my feet most of the day, getting all the excuses in. Shout out to Beckett Try, who awarded me the most excuses, or Mr. Excuses award. Not the best one, I have to admit, but I earned it. So yeah, didn't have the best prep leading into it, and again that was just another hit out just to see how the body was feeling in the lead up to Worlds, as the two runs are 5k and then a 2.5, so I thought get the closest ones to it. I ended up running that in 20:06, which is a reasonable time. It's not sub 20, which I've still only ever done once, which was in York in a time of 19:58. But yeah, it's still a reasonable time. I can definitely do another sub 20, maybe even quicker, if I like have a good lead up and good prep the night before and the day of. So yeah, that's been an overview of what's happened since BUCS try to now. This is also being filmed on the same day as the next video, very late, and it'll probably be uploaded like consecutively on consecutive days. Yeah, like and subscribe where I'm going to put those, and leave a comment down below if you're enjoying these videos, and any ideas for any future videos you'd like me to do, such as kit reviews, or what else? Yeah, just any ideas that you've got, maybe a few interviews with athletes, maybe if you try and get a few pro triathletes on here, pro and elite triathletes, or even like behind the scenes of like what it's like to train in the BUCS squad at Leeds Beckett, and behind the scenes of the various squads at Beckett. As probably in a couple of weeks there'll be a little announcement, which I'm not going to say anymore now. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below if you're enjoying the videos, and if you've got anything you'd like to see. Keep it PG, of course. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.